Hey, it's your lifestylist Kay, and welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to talk about how to recover from being a nice girl while still in a relationship. I received a comment off one of the videos, and I'll post it here. And this was her question. So I want to go over how to recover from being a nice girl while still in a relationship. How to speak up for yourself while still in a relationship. Let's dive in.
Believe strangers for help. Don't dwell upon this thought right now.
Recovering from the persona of nice girl while in a relationship is not an easy task, especially if you're with someone who does not respect you. I want to get that out the way. Number one, this process will not work for everyone. Some people, if you attempt this, you will end up single, but that only makes room for someone who will respect you. Remember that. When it comes to redefining your communication style, your self-worth, and your boundaries while still in a relationship, the work can be hard. But I always say that you're worth the hard work, right? And when you're going through this transition, you definitely want someone who is willing to move with you, right? Elevate with you. And that's not the case for everyone. But if this is more about you and less about them and preserving a relationship that you do not feel whole in, always choose you, hands down, every time. Before we dive in, I also want to say this. We're hoping that this transformation preserves your relationship, but the key word here is this transformation that you're going to take yourself through only preserves healthy relationships. So as you go through this transformation, transforming yourself, remember the healthy relationships will last. And if your relationship doesn't last past your transformation, it wasn't healthy and you deserve better. So, number one is recognizing the nice girl persona. If you're watching this, and as well as the person who asked the question, they realize that they have been going along to get along in this relationship under their nice girl persona, and it's not getting them where they desire to be. They are starting to feel overwhelmed, underappreciated, and all of those things, right? So as you recognize this, you might ask yourself, how can I fix this? Number one, without losing my relationship. But honestly, the question is, how can I continue to go along, to get along while losing myself? So I want you to get into your mind. This is about your growth, your elevation, the health of your self-confidence, your self-worth, and your self-esteem. You have to get out of the people pleasing, the overgiving, the overdoing. You have to get out of that within your relationship, right? So as you realize that these are the things that you're doing, you are also feeling the repercussions of your lack of boundaries. So that's number one, realizing that your nice girl persona, what you've given off, has now become the foundation of your relationship. And you're wanting to shift that. And so now it's going to take you easing into this transformation, not unnoticed, but noticeable enough that your partner realizes that, okay, this is what she needs, but then stern enough to know that the transformation that you are going through is serious. So number two, we want to set clear boundaries moving forward, right? This is how you start off. You set those boundaries. What were your boundaries before? Did you have any at all? How can you now set the boundaries moving forward? And so as you're setting those boundaries, you want to now define what is and what isn't acceptable anymore. You want to make sure that you're practicing saying no and not right now. You want to make sure that that's clear. Make sure that you're being assertive, not aggressive, but assertive communication. And an example of assertive communication is when you go to someone, your partner, and say, I feel this emotion when insert the situation, and then also let them know that I need whatever solution you've come up with, right? So I feel unappreciated when you are aggressively talking to me and telling me to do things. I need you to recognize that and stop that type of, that type of thing. That's how you go about setting more of a boundary. You will have to do this more than once. It's going to take time. So if you're in it for the building of a healthy relationship, realize that it's going to take time to shift. Number three along this transformation is prioritize your needs. Check in with yourself. Are your emotional, physical, spiritual needs being met? This will be a time to carve out time for self-care. Carve out time for your personal interests. What is it that you want to do? Make time for yourself. And also let your partner know what you need without feeling guilty or feeling like you need to apologize. Just be straightforward. This is what I need. They're either going to do it or they're not. Like there's no need to feel guilty about the things that you need. And I want you to practice that. If you are practicing it and you find yourself feeling guilty or apologizing, do it over and over and over again until you are able to say it without guilt, until you're able to come to your partner not feeling guilty or apologizing. I need this. I'm sorry, but no, I need this. This is what it is. Please give me my time. And once again, we're not being aggressive, we're being assertive. Number four would be own your emotions. Your emotions are going to be up and down, side to side, bouncing everywhere because this is something new. This is a transition that you're going through. Your emotions are not always going to be intact. Own them. And as well, stop taking responsibility for your partner's happiness and stop making your partner responsible for your happiness. This is a give and take situation. So when you're owning your emotions, it's a two-way street. And as you're building your boundaries and owning your emotions and prioritizing yourself, make sure that you're expressing your emotions, without fear of feeling like you're too much or being too much. You're allowed to express how you're feeling, what you're going through. Also, just remember that as you are going through this transition, it's also showing you who your partner is as well, how they respond, how they help you. It's showing you what you need to know. And it should also show you that no matter what, you need to keep going. Now, remember, as you're owning your emotions, we want to refrain from passive aggressive communication. We want to be straightforward. There's no passive aggressive, there's no room for that. We want to come correct. And as we're coming correct, we want to be direct in our communication. As you start to grow through this transformation, embrace your power. I think the nice girl in a lot of ways can lack in their power, in their knowing, in their being. So now is the opportunity for you to really walk in your power, stand in your power, own it. It's yours. No one can take it away, right? You're giving it to yourself. No one can take it away but you. And as you're owning your power, what you're doing is shifting from the need of external validation and you're moving into understanding and knowing and nurturing your self worth, right? As you walk in your power, your confidence builds, your self worth is showing up more, and your self esteem is being built as well. The confident you is showing up. Everyone won't like it, but it's not for them to like. It's for you to like and love. And even if it feels uncomfortable, stand firm in your values and the decisions that you make. Because this is new for you. Will it be uncomfortable at first? The first couple of times, of course. But you know the decision that you made and you have to value it. If you allow someone to talk you out of what you value and talk you out of the decisions you've made, that means that you're letting yourself down. And we don't have time to let ourselves down any longer. And as you walk into your power, you got to let go of the fear of letting people down or making them mad or that temporary or having that temporary discomfort, right? You have to let that go. As you walk in your power, you're knowing more and more who you are and what you stand on. Like I said, it's not only other people that won't like it, you'll also probably feel some discomfort, but it's only temporary. You're growing into an elevated you. You deserve this. So number 6 is be honest with your expectations. See, your expectations were at a certain level when you started your relationship. As you've gone through this relationship, your expectations have now changed because you're changing. So we have to be honest with our expectations moving forward. And honestly, since you've been tolerating behavior that only aligns with that nice girl, people pleasing type of person, now it's time to shift that. And that's why your expectations are going to change. And that's why you have to be clear on what it is that you desire, need, and want. One thing I will say is anytime that you're addressing something, be in control of your emotions, be calm. Be calm because when you're calm, it shifts the atmosphere. Even when someone is being aggressive, as long as you're calm, trust me, they when someone can't get a reaction out of you, they show you who they are. And what you're looking for is to exude your power and know that regardless of how someone else is acting, my response is always going to be calm, cool, and collect because I want to consistently walk in my power. This is not a battle of who's more powerful or who's in control of the other person. It's about me being in control of myself. And I want to give you an example of what that will look like or a scenario of when your partner might be a little agitated with you, right? So say you've been going along to get along because this is a ebbs and flows type of situation. You might realize that you're still just going along to get along. The reality is that you might have a scenario and I want to give it to you right now. I wrote it down. So it's an example is when you know that you've probably haven't been showing up for yourself or going along to get along and you want to address it because you want to still make sure that your expectations are still clear. And so when you notice that you haven't been doing that, this is how you would approach it. You would say something like, I realize that, I've been ignoring how much something bothers me, right? We'll use that as an example. When you give them their give them the specific action that they're doing that's bothering you that you've been ignoring. Moving forward, I like to work on and then give the solution. That shows them that, okay, I see what's happening. And yes, I haven't said anything, but it's been bothering me. And if I want to be honest and true to myself, I want to be able to express this to you. And I'm hoping that we can come up with a solution, right? And in a healthy relationship, a healthy dynamic, that will be perfect. Solutions will be discussed and it will be acted out. If you're in a toxic situation, you might have that banter of back and forth argument. You know what to do. You know what to do. And number 7 is always understand the impact this is going to have. And this is really not number 7. This is just as you're going through this transformation, it's going to have an impact. I want you to realize that this impact might not be what you want. You have to be prepared for the resistance that you're going to get. That's why I've said it throughout the entire video. There's going to be some people who won't like it. There's going to be some partners who just don't like who you're becoming, who you're changing into, who you're elevating to become. I just want you to remember that a healthy partner is going to support you. And they won't have a problem with these simple changes that you're doing to mainly show up for yourself and be true to you. They won't have a problem with it at all. They will support it wholeheartedly. A toxic partner is not going to like it. And in that moment, you know what you need to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So do these steps if you're willing to gain you and lose toxicity. If you do this and gain a greater relationship within the one that you already have, how exciting. But this will not be the case for everyone. I told you within my experience, as I shifted out of that type of situation and was attempting to change within my relationship, it wasn't taken the way that I would have hoped, but I knew how that was going to end up, and I was okay with that. But stepping out of the nice girl world while still in a relationship and doing the work to step out of that role is honoring yourself. It's showing you that you realize that at any point in time, no matter where you are in life, you're going to show up for yourself and you're going to do the work to elevate you, to heal you, to nurture you. Because what's important is that you create a more authentic dynamic with yourself. Be aligned with your highest self and your greatest self in order to truly create balance and joy and authenticness within your day to day life. This isn't just for relationships with a partner. This is with relationships with a mother, a family member, coworkers. I always say these are things you can take in any area of your life that involves building relationships. You will see who is worth you being in their life and who is not. And it's okay if people miss out on you, but it's not okay for you to miss out on yourself. And as you go through this process, the whole goal is for your partner to adapt and support you as you would them. And one thing I want you to keep in mind is that this is meant to honor you. Do not stop your work to appease someone who is not worth your time and energy, for someone who does not support you, for someone who does not see that we all have the right to be our greatest self. Someone doesn't want you to be your greatest self while they're in a relationship with you, that means that they're not their greatest self. And you are out of alignment with something great. They're in your way. So as you do the work and you notice that it is not going the way that it should, and this person is pulling away from you, there is something better waiting for you on the other side of your elevation, on the other side of leaving that people pleasing, over giving woman in the past. Kudos to you for doing the work. See you on the next video.